What if everything you've been told about prehistoric humans is wrong? You've heard the claim 1,000 times. They died young, they lived brutal, joyless lives, and almost no one made it past 30. But yes, you right now deserve the truth behind that myth. The real story is more human, more surprising, and far more inspiring. Many of our ancestors lived long enough to become grandparents and teachers, carriers of memory who steered their bands through hunger, storms, and conflict. And the reason they reached those ages wasn't luck. It was a survival technology older than metal, older than writing community. Let's start by breaking the word that tricks everyone: average. When people say the average Stone Age life was 20 to 35 years, they're mixing every birth and every tragedy into one number. That average is crushed by infant death. If one band loses 4 children, but 2 elders live into their 60s, the average still looks short. Lifespan is different. Lifespan asks, how long can a person live if they survive childhood? And once someone reached 15, their odds of reaching 40, 50, even 60 went up fast. Now ask yourself, what does an extra decade buy in a world without hospitals? It buys pattern recognition. The elder who reads a storm in the angle of clouds. The auntie who can smell which root heals and which poisons. The quiet grandfather who remembers the safe paths when ice turns the valley vicious. In a world without books, those minds were libraries. In a world without maps, they were compasses. Their memory was a shield the group could stand behind. We're going to follow that memory across firelit camps and wind-shaved cliffs from the Caucasus to Kurdistan to a slate-gray European shore. Along the way, you'll meet people who, by the old myth, shouldn't have lived long enough to teach anyone anything, and yet did. Their bones say so, and their story says even more about the people around them. Small bands who carried the weak, fed the injured, and kept experience alive because experience kept everyone alive. First, though, check the picture in your head. Is prehistory all panic, grunts, and short lives? Good. Keep that picture nearby so we can burn it down with evidence and rebuild it, patiently, into a living, breathing human story. Dawn on the steppe. Frost bites the grass. Your band wakes cold and hungry. Far off, shaggy silhouettes drift mammoths steaming in first light. Wolves pencil the horizon. Tools are simple snowflakes, wooden shafts, sinew, but precision lives in hands, not metal. One slip on wet rock can mean a broken ankle. One bad cut can sour the blood. And still there's laughter. Children mimic throws. Teenagers dare each other to sprint the ridge. An old woman taps a rhythm on a log while showing a child how to twist cord. Survival isn't silence and terror. Survival is noise. People doing things together. Hold that word close. Together. Because the secret you're about to learn isn't only about years. It's about how people bought those years for one another. Compassion wasn't decoration on top of strength. Compassion was a tool, sharp as flint and warm as fire. Ready? Step with me to a hill above a river in the Caucasus, where an elder with no teeth outlived his odds because his people refused to let him go. The place is Dmanisi, a wind-cut promontory above the Mashavera River in today's Georgia. The ground is dark with very old ash. A small band of Homo erectus gathers at dusk. Sparks lift from a rock-ringed fire, and hands pass marrow bones one to another. Among them is an elder whose skull scientists will one day call Skull 4, the old man of Dmanisi. He is not chewing. He cannot. Every tooth has been gone for years. The sockets are smoothed over by healing bone. In a world of sinew and raw roots, that should have been a death sentence. But he sits warm by the flames because his people bend their routine around him. Someone pounds tubers, leeches, bitterness, and smears mash into a palm. Someone cracks limb bones and tips a prism of fat into a horn cup. Old hands warm at the coals. Young hands learn how to split a femur without shattering it. Calories are labor. Labor is love. And love here is a survival strategy. For a long time, we told prehistory as if kindness only arrived with cities. The old man of Dmanisi says otherwise. Compassion sits at the roots. The band paid a cost, calories shared, attention given. And God repaid with a mind stocked with maps, mistakes, and memory. A good memory can be worth more than a good hunter, because a good memory multiplies everyone's chances. Jump forward tens of thousands of generations to the crumpled mountains of Iraqi Kurdistan, into the mouth of a cave called Shanidar. Here, in wind-blown dust, lay the bones of a Neanderthal archaeologist labeled Shanidar 1. His skeleton reads like a ledger of injuries. The right forearm is withered or gone. A blow to the face likely took vision in one eye. The ear canals are choked with bone growth. The leg bones carry the signatures of old fractures. If life were only about speed and muscle, this would be a very short story. It isn't. He lived into his 40s, maybe his 50s, which means people walked beside him on narrow ledges, placed meat in his good hand, shifted pace so he could keep up, and listened when he said, "Not that valley. The snow sits longer there." Around some burials in this cave, 0. 3. Excavators found pollen, evidence long read as flowers placed with the dead. Whether blossoms were set by grieving hands or dragged in by rodents making nests, the effect on us is the same. These people attended to endings. Communities that attend to endings usually attend to the living as well. The pattern repeats elsewhere. In France, an older Neanderthal with most teeth missing shows a life that kept going anyway. In other sites, healed ribs and spines, fused by arthritis, speak of bodies that outlived injuries long enough for bone to remodel. This doesn't mean every band was tender or every elder cherished. It means that, often enough to leave marks in the ground, care was given, and it worked. What does care buy in the world of risk? Time, and time buys pattern recognition. Old tracks in the brain help a band read new tracks on the land. A sudden silence in the birds spells ambush. A certain curl of cloud means the river will rise by morning. A scatter of green shoots on a slope means tubers below. The mind that strings those clues together is equipment as real as a spear, and it takes decades to make. We widen the lens. Firelight, breath in cold air. A child mirrors a grandparent's grip on a hammerstone, misses 3 times, then frees a razor flake that glints like ice. A laugh. A nod. Skill passed down at the speed of patience. This is how long lives pay off. Night tightens around a low fire, and voices gather. Children lean into warmth. Hunters scrape resin from their palms. A woman turns roots among the coals until skins blacken and hearts go sweet. Then an elder begins, not with orders, but with a story. When the river braided this way, they say, tracing lines in ash, the salmon stalled below the bend. We netted them here, not there. A pause, a grin. And that was the year the wolves circled from the ridge, not the valley, so we posted a watcher on the far rock. The story is a map disguised as memory, a lesson wrapped in laughter.